Rebecca, we are live and
Finally.
Finally. We had a little bit of crowdcast drama going on there.
We did. Quite fitting, really.
Yeah, exactly. That is my life, crowdcast drama. So that's good. But you're here to tell us all about workplace drama. And I love this topic. It's brilliant. It's if people can't see themselves somewhere in your talk at some point, they're in denial. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh.
So
no pressure.
There's the challenge. At this point, I'm going to hand over to you. Look forward to your talk.
Super. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. And as Eleanor said, I'm Rebekah Whitaker. I'm from Quest for S, and I'm going to be talking to you about one of my absolute favourite topics, drama in the workplace. Drama's everywhere. Drama is sadly not saved for an episode of Corrie. It's all around us, and those invitations to enter into drama, they're weaved so neatly and so subtly into our daily lives that often we don't even realise that they're there. What do I mean by drama? Drama can range from those low-level, how on earth did that happen? I was only trying to do whatever good and noble thing it was you were trying to do that's then blown up in your face. Or it can go to, when someone walks into a room and you already know exactly how the conversation is going to go because it ends this way every single time. And it can get all the way to those slanging matches across the office. You know, the ones where the printers go flying out of the first floor cabin door. That is a true story. I was not the printer thrower, just for the record. But no one walks away from drama feeling good. No one feels happy after they've been in some kind of drama. And given that at Quest for S, I'm on a mission to create the happiest leaders, I really want to help people to move away from this unnecessary drama. So in this session, we'll be looking at why drama happens, why it's actually a problem, what your role might be in the drama, and therefore what your opportunity is to move away from the drama. This topic is vast. It could go on for days. I won't, I promise. And we are just going to be scratching the surface, but we will be scratching it enough that after this talk, if you choose to, you will be able to go away and make a difference in the interactions that you have to start to reduce the drama. Now, I can get quite a bit of resistance when I talk to people about this idea of developing your self-awareness to the point where we are looking at those behaviours that maybe we don't like so much, maybe we could quite benefit from changing, because people don't want to look there because they think it's going to be very serious and very hard and very heavy. But it really doesn't have to be, because it's all right to laugh at ourselves a bit, right? Ultimately, when we're looking at a topic like our role in drama, we have three choices of what we can do once we've got this information and we've realised that maybe we do have a bit of a role in the drama that's going on around us. We can choose to ignore it and we can just carry on doing what we're always doing. We can move towards change, but we can move towards change and use it as an opportunity to beat ourselves up and give ourselves a really hard time about what a terrible person we've been. Or we can embrace the ick and the awkwardness of uncovering something about ourselves that maybe we wish was a bit different. We can laugh, we can be a bit kinder to ourselves, and we can move towards change with that kind of mentality. Now, I know which option I prefer to choose, but ultimately, only you can decide how you want to move towards change with this information. So to help demonstrate drama in action, I'll take a look at one of my one-to-one coaching clients. Now, obviously, names and specific details have been changed to protect her anonymity, but we will call her Sarah. So Sarah was a relatively new team leader when we started working together. She'd been in the role for about 4 months. full of energy, full of ideas, full of enthusiasm about how she wanted to manage her team. And her team consisted of herself and 3 other people. And she was really, really intent on being a good team leader. But one day she arrived on our call and she was this huge ball of fizzing emotions. And they all came spilling out in this huge rant. And the essence of the rant went a little bit like this. Are you ready for this? My top-notch acting skills. She said to me, Becky, I've had it. They're idiots. They are absolute idiots. I am pretty sure I would do a better job training my 6-year-old niece and that she would show more initiative in the role than my team do. And she said, yesterday I was on a really important client call and I had told them how important this meeting was. The relationship is not at a good stage. I needed to be in the zone for this meeting. So I said to them for 1 hour, that's all I was there for, Becky, 1 hour. Please do not call me unless the place is burning down round your ears. What happens? I'm 20 minutes into the meeting and I get a call from one of the team. She's in a total knot of flap because one of the systems that we use has gone down. So I say to her, sort it out when I get back, and I hang up the call. I get back into the office and you'll never believe it, but the team were angry with me. They were angry with me because I didn't sort it out while I was on the call. Can you even believe that? And then we had this horrible argument and I said horrible things that I really wish I hadn't said, but I was just so angry. And they said that they didn't dare leave it until I got out because they thought they'd get in trouble. And actually, I think I'm doing a really, really terrible job at this team leader thing. Sarah was not as bad a team leader as I am actor. However, her story really is not unique. I'm a leadership coach who works with people who are just stepping into leadership for the first time. They're getting their first people gig. But I've been really lucky that actually I've been able to coach everyone from apprentices all the way through to directors. And across those hundreds of hours of coaching conversations, drama has been a really key theme. But it's so key that when I designed my very first job as a line manager program, it got its own module. That is how important it is to understand what it is that's going on in drama in the workplace. And knowing how to deal with that is so important when it comes to showing up, speaking up, and stepping up as a confident leader. Because drama has weaved itself so neatly into our lives, we just kind of accept that that's the way it is. And actually, we need to have a rethink about how necessary this drama really is, because we don't feel good about it. We've just gotten used to it. And we've gotten used to it because we've been playing out the same old story over and over again, all the way throughout our lives. When we're young, we very, very quickly learn ways of having our needs met without actually asking for what it is that we want and what it is that we need. And then we just repeat this cycle over the years. And now on more than one occasion, when I've been working with teams about drama, someone will say to me, yeah, but do you know what, Becky, I actually really quite like a bit of drama. But when we start to unpick it, it's not the drama itself that they like, it's what they get from the drama. The drama is a way for them to scratch an itch that they don't quite know how to scratch any other way. And I'm really passionate about this idea of tackling drama in our workplaces, not because I think the world is all rainbows and unicorns and everyone should wander around with a perma smile, but because there are real consequences to drama in the workplace that range from the way that people feel, the way that they feel about themselves, their self-esteem, their stress levels, and ultimately then their performance in their role. But there's also a real cost to drama. There's the cost from the time that we spend in the drama. There's cost associated with the time from going over and reliving and coming to terms with whatever it is that's just happened. There's also the cost from the meetings after the drama. You know, those meetings, I'm sure you've been part of them. I certainly have, you know, where everyone like gets together and they decide who was right and who was wrong and what they're going to do as a result of this bust up that's just happened. But more importantly, there is a very real cost to people leaving workplaces because of bad relationships and because of poor leadership. Now, I'm a practitioner of transactional analysis. So theories from TA are really integral to all of the work that I do. And to help Sarah understand what it was that was going on, not just during the incident, but every day within her team, I shared with her Stephen Cartman's drama triangle theory. So according to Cartman, whenever we are in drama, we are in one of these three positions. We don't consciously choose a position on the triangle. We don't consciously enter into drama. It's just this repeated pattern, this cycle that we've been playing out for years. We all have a go-to position, somewhere that we tend to play the most, but during a drama interaction, we fly all around the triangle until in the end we get chewed up, spat out the other side in a whole new position. So on the triangle, we have three positions. We have the persecutor, the rescuer, and the victim. The persecutors, they see themselves as being superior to other people and that everyone else is a little bit inferior to them. But to establish their position of superiority, they put other people down. They look to belittle them. They might be bullying them a bit. Rescuers, they also see themselves as being better than other people, but they look to establish their position by helping, because everyone actually needs their help. Otherwise, they wouldn't get through the day. And very often rescuers can find themselves doing things that they don't really want to do, but they have to do because everyone needs them to do it for them. And then finally, we have our victim position, and victims see themselves as being inferior and incompetent. And they look for persecutors and rescuers to save or to reject them, because that is what keeps them in their helpless and hopeless position. None of these positions is noble. None is any better than the other. And I am a chronic recovering persecutor. Oh, back in my engineering days, that's just how I thought you managed people. Down a little bit, keep them on the toes, let them know that I was in charge. It all came from a place of chronic and crippling insecurity and self-doubt, but that is definitely a story for another day. But Sarah felt all the ick as we looked at this. There was a lot of, oh, yeah, I totally see it. And what she totally saw was the fact that she was a rescuer. And she had been rescuing her team so much that when something happened and she wasn't around, they completely fell to pieces. She had completely disempowered the team so much. But she didn't know how to help them in any other way, because when she thought about her life as a whole, she realized that actually she took this rescuer position in all of her relationships. So to help her understand how she could be a helpful leader, but a leader that doesn't disempower others, I shared with her the principles from A.C. Troy's Winner's Triangle. And what I love most about moving from the drama triangle onto the winner's triangle is that we don't have to become like this whole new person and pretend to be something that we're not. In fact, the shifts are really, really subtle. Small differences in our language and our intent that actually yield huge changes in our relationships. And more often than not, the biggest barrier that we actually come up against from moving from drama to winner's triangle is our habits. It's just become a habit that's the position that we play in. And, they weren't lying when they said that old habits die hard, but with conscious effort, we absolutely can create new habits. So on the winner's triangle, we have 3 new positions. Assertive replaces the persecutor, caring replaces the rescuer, and vulnerable replaces the victim. So if we're in an assertive position on the winner's triangle, we are asking people for what we want without punishing other people, without putting other people down, and instead we're using our energy to actually solve problems. So instead of slagging you off and telling you how I'm feeling, telling you that you're useless, I will be telling you instead how I'm feeling, what it is that I need. I might be asking you to do something or to not do something, and I'll let you know about the consequences for those things not happening, not in a mean or aggressive way, but in terms of the natural consequences that appear everywhere through our daily lives for the things that we do and we don't do. I might be saying something like, I feel like this when you talk to me like that. And there's a really important thing to note there in the language. Not saying you make me feel like this. No, I feel like this. And that's important because our feelings are our own, and it's really important that we own the way that we feel. So an assertive conversation with someone in your workplace might sound something like, this project has gone 20% over time and budget, and you didn't let me know. In the future, I really need you to be honest when it looks like things are going to overrun, because that's the way that I need to be able to keep financial control so that I can report it upwards. Otherwise, we're going to end up under the scrutiny of the senior leadership team. A lot of people are scared of being assertive because we were told off for it when we were little. We were told things like, I want never gets, or stop being so bossy. But we're not being bossy, and we're not little anymore, and we can choose to think about this situation differently. So when we rescue people, we do their thinking for them. If we want to move onto the winner's triangle and into that caring position instead, we respect the other ability of others to think and feel and do for themselves, and for them to be able to ask for what it is that they need. And importantly, we're taking responsibility for our own needs and our own feelings. So unlike when we're in a rescuer position, we're less likely to get drawn into doing things that we don't really want to be doing. The key skill for people in a caring position is to listen. Listen to others without trying to solve the problem for them. Asking, what is it that I can do for you? It's the idea that I have resources and I'm really happy to share them with you, but I want you to feel empowered enough to ask me specifically for what it is that you need, or to reject my offer of help. So if you're normally a rescuer and you see your colleague is super swamped, instead of going over and telling them that you'll take this off them and everything will be all right because you'll help sort it out, maybe you go and say, I've heard you say you're really swamped at the minute. Is there anything that I can do to help you? And then let them decide what it is that they actually need from you. And then finally, when we're in victim mode on the drama triangle, we think that everything's hopeless, everything's helpless, especially us. But when we are in vulnerable, we know that we're having a tough time. We know that we could really benefit from a bit of help, but we are not discounting our own abilities to solve problems, to use our own thinking to get us out of this situation. And we know that it's okay to ask for help. We feel really safe asking for help, and we feel safe knowing that if someone says no, all is not lost. We are not completely reliant on other people. So a vulnerable expression might sound something like, I'm still really stuck with this new process. Can you check that I'm doing it right with me? And if I'm not, can you show me how to do it? As opposed to, I'm never going to get this. Please, can you just do it for me again? So take a minute now to think about where it is that you might normally sit on the drama triangle and those subtle shifts that you might need to make in order to get yourself onto the winner's triangle. And remember, we're not trying to make you into whole new people. So if you are normally a rescuer, I'm not saying you can no longer help people. Absolutely offer help to people, but do it in a way that empowers them, not disempowers them. If you recognise yourself as a victim on the drama triangle, you can absolutely still ask for help, but ask for help in a way that isn't discounting your own abilities. And if, like me, you recognise yourself as a persecutor on the drama triangle, think about how you can ask for your needs to be met without putting other people down. We've looked at the drama triangle and what our role in the drama in the workplace might be. And we've talked about the winner's triangle and what are opportunities, therefore, to change the way that drama is happening in the workplace. And before we leave, I'd really like you to think about how you can be empowered to actually move forward and make that change, to own the outcome, to own your decision and the outcome of your decision. So what do I mean by that? I mean that no one can make you think or feel or do something. They can try really hard, and some people do try really hard, but ultimately that decision is always yours. On the flip side of that, you can't make someone think or feel or do differently. So when you change up your own behavior, you can't make someone else meet you on the drama triangle. You can keep inviting them, but don't be surprised if at first you get a little bit of resistance, because this way of dealing with you, that's new. It's unknown to people, and human beings do not like the unknown. We like familiarity. We like routine. So don't be surprised if, even though someone has had real struggles with the way that they've interacted with you before, don't be surprised that they're still trying to pull you back there, because that's what they know. But it won't take long, if you're able to stay on that winner's triangle, for people to realise that, oh, actually, my interactions with you are now much more pleasant than they were before. Our relationship is much more productive, and they'll follow suit and they'll come and play with you on the winner's triangle instead. Be kind to yourself if you find yourself slipping back into old patterns and old behaviours and ways of being. I have been living and breathing TA for quite a while now. I still go for a play on the drama triangle every now and then, because I'm human and because I did it for so many years. But I recognise it. I see what it is that's happened. I see how I was chewed up and spat out the other side, and I go away and lick my wounds, and I come back and I try again. So to summarise, drama is weaved throughout our lives, and we've gotten used to it, but we don't need to. It doesn't need to be that way. So understand what your role in the drama is by identifying where it is that you usually play on the drama triangle. Take the opportunity to move away from the drama by thinking about how you can operate on the winner's triangle instead, and then own your decision. Start with one person, one conversation. So let's just wrap up Sarah's story before we say goodbye. So I worked with Sarah for a few months after the incident, as it became affectionately known. And while drama was never really the main focus of our talks, again, she did regularly update me on how things were going. And she was absolutely thrilled when she had had her first play on the winner's triangle, when she had gone into a situation and not looked to rescue a member of her team. And it had felt really weird and really awkward, but it had been really well received. So she was absolutely delighted. But of course, there were times when she slipped back into old behaviours, or when people did kick back against her not rescuing them anymore, and she didn't really feel like she'd handled it as well as she could have done. But what I loved about her was that she always had this attitude that, but it's all right, because I can see where I've gone wrong, so I can try and do better next time. And if you take nothing else at all from this today, if you forget all about names of triangles and names of positions on triangles, then please just remember not to be afraid of getting it wrong while you're trying to get it right. Because actually, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about trying to do better once you actually know better. If you've enjoyed this talk today and you want to know more about how you can work with me, whether that's on the Nail Your First Job as a Line Manager program, one-to-one or team coaching, or through workshops on things like drama or around transactional analysis, drop me an email and let's jump on a call. So my email, rebecca@questfors.co.uk. Watch that spelling of Rebecca, Rebekah. Thank you very much, Mum and Dad, for that one. Or you can listen to me and Faye Blakey on your favourite podcast player on the In Pursuit of the Better You podcast. And you can also find me on Substack at questfors.substack.com. And I do hang out on LinkedIn a lot. If you have a look for Rebekah Whitaker ACC and find a profile picture with a face that looks a lot like this one. Thank you very much again for your time today, and goodbye for now.